I remember another time, whole different time and place. I was at a big family party in Sudbury, where I'm from, with lots of family there, lots and lots of people, full house. And eventually the subject of advertising came up. And they asked me what I was working on or what was on air that I may have written. And I told them, which just resulted in some polite smiles and some baby ostrich stares at me. And then someone said, "Hey, you know what the best commercial on TV is right now?" And I said, "I don't know, what is it?" They go, "The commercial for Snuggles fabric softener with that cute little snuggly bear." And I just looked at him, and the whole place cheered. The whole house cheered. And later that night, I sat all alone in a rocking chair, in the dark, just the light of my cigarette, rocking back and forth in the dark, thinking, can I be that wrong about what works in this business? Could Snuggly the bear be the thing that gets high tens all around the room? Now, I've been right sometimes, and sometimes I've been more right than I probably had a right to be right. But when I'm wrong, when I'm that wrong, it gives me such pause. So in this book, I wish I could have included a chapter where a dozen ads were rated by ad professionals and consumers, and the results compared. I think that learning would have been so illuminating, because maybe the chasm that I suspect exists sometimes might be lessened, that a bridge could be constructed. And at the very least, when someone shouts a chorus of high fives that Snuggles is the best TV ad on the air, that my brain won't do 8 end over ends into a cornfield, because maybe there'll be a little bit more learning as a result of that chapter. The second chapter I would have liked to include is a list of the ways we annoy consumers as compiled by consumers. Based on the hundreds of emails Mike and I get from listeners, I have this sneaking suspicion that a lot of our favorite tricks are like nails on a blackboard to consumers. Like, ad people love to shoot TV spots on a white cyc. We love the starkness. We love the simplicity. I have done that several times. I just dream of a great white cyc TV ad. Open on white cyc. It's that great first line in every script. I've noticed that the general public tends to dislike those kind of spots in their feedback. With just very few exceptions, the feedback I get is that the spots are boring, that they're flat. Consumers truly like texture and visual bonbons in their TV spots. They like action. They like to see a lot of stuff going on. They don't seem to like stark TV spots. It's kind of terrifying to read that email over and over again when we as an industry send them so many spots that open on white cyc. I did the sound for a series of dog food commercials that are running right now for Pedigree. They're beautiful. You've probably seen them. Beautiful shots of dogs on a white cyc, and a dog comes up and eats out of a bowl. And I took such care with the sound because I wanted the sound to be so present. I wanted every crunch of those little dog nibblies to be cleaning those dogs' teeth, and I just mic'd it so close, and I spent so much time on the sound. And I was on a book tour out west earlier this week, and I was in Calgary, and I was signing a book, and a woman came up to me and said, "You know what commercial I hate? That Pedigree dog commercial, because I can't stand the sound of those dogs eating." And then someone 5 people behind her who didn't even know her said, "I agree with that." And that's not the first time I've been told that about that ad. And I spent hours crafting that sound on that ad. And I love that campaign. And people aren't liking it. What is that thing, what is that bridge we can't seem to jump over between us? I think the general public doesn't pay much attention to teasers either. We love them as an industry, especially on outdoor ads, that slow tease and then a reveal a couple of weeks later. The public are strangely quiet about that technique. Whenever there's a great campaign out there, we get no feedback from the teaser portion of it. Just absolutely nothing. I find that very strange because I love teasers in advertising. I've always said that the only safe target in humorous advertising are white Anglo-Saxon husbands. They're really the only safe thing we can make fun of, white Anglo-Saxon husbands. For over 20 years, I have never received a single letter of complaint from anyone when I've picked on Anglo-Saxon white hubbies in funny commercials. And I'm starting to get a lot of emails from men who don't like it now. Something has changed. They don't like it. I'm learning that act now, exclamation mark, has the exact opposite reaction with the people we send that to. Heavy media schedules. Consumers get our messages very quickly these days. I cannot tell you how many emails we get from people begging our industry to stop running commercials over and over and over again in a short period of time. The tonnage is not good. Yet as an industry, we still cling to some notion that a certain GRP level is effective. I think we have to reevaluate that. We hear it every single day. I could go on and on because the emails are nonstop, but I want to make one last point. I think it's time to ban adjectives from advertising. Adjectives are cliches now. Yeah. Consumers have stopped believing in them. Bigger, better, stronger, faster, clearer, sexier. We have thrown those adjectives around the way Sinatra used to throw 20s. It just doesn't mean anything anymore. Nobody buys them anymore. As the Clue Train Manifesto said, as Mitch said, which you have to read that book, it is one of the most incredible books I've ever read. The Clue Train Manifesto said, adjectives are like the blank tiles in Scrabble. You can use them anywhere, but they have absolutely no value.